obstacles. There will always be challenges. There will always be giants. What has defeated you? What is your giant? Name it. Is it fear? Is it anxiety? Is it insecurity? Is it doubt? This is the last day. You are going to allow this giant to define you.
All of us are in like a little sailboat. And it's not the blowing of the wind that determines your destination, it's the setting the sail. It's not the blowing of the wind that determines your income. It's not the blowing of the wind that determines your fortune. It's the setting of the sail.
Many of us are not able to move forward and develop and manifest our greatness because we spend so much time looking back or worrying about the future. Seize the moment. See, you cannot go into the future and manifest your greatness when you have various things in your life that's blocking you.
Here's the most important one of all. Don't doubt yourself. If I've got miracle working power to change my life, so do you. If I've got the ability to change, so do you. If I've got the ability to read, so do you. If I can discover, so can you. If I can grow, you can grow.
Long journey, long dark night. But when you hold on to your dream, don't let anybody kill it in you. Just hold on to that dream. When it doesn't make sense to anybody, including you sometimes, just hold on. Once you give yourself an opportunity to try and to stretch, you'll find out you can do more than you could ever begin to imagine. See, you're worried about the things you don't have. You're worried about the things people say about you. But if you build it, they will come. And you love it, it'll grow.
So you want to have some other plans going on. You want to become creative. See, most people don't keep their commitments because when something goes wrong, they just stop. They don't have a contingency plan. So they don't know what to do next. You do know what to do. You got genius in you. Challenge yourself, push yourself, make yourself come up with something. Use your imagination. And what you will find is that you know more than you realize that you know. That you're more creative and more resourceful than you realize that you are.
Now there are laws. The law of belief says that your beliefs become your realities. But the things that you believe may not necessarily be true. However, if you believe them intensely enough, they will become true for you.
Would you say it's smart to focus on one goal? I mean, if you're sick, obviously it's smart to focus on getting healthy. But if you have a regular life and you say, you know, I would like to have the classical stuff, more money, more wealth, more love, more joy. Would you say in those meditations it's smart to focus on different goals, or should it rather be the big goal, like a big vision I have for my life, that all the steps on the way are just marks I will pass at one point?
Well, let's answer that on two levels too, because people come to our workshops for all different reasons. Some people come because they're sick. Some people come because they want more money. Some people want a new job, a new opportunity, a new career, a new relationship. Some people want the mystical. The people come for all kinds of reasons. To me, I don't care. What I care about is that they latch on to a vision and they learn how to create. Whatever drives them to that elegant moment where they're so present and so passionate about what they want, and they have a clear intention, a clear vision, a coherent brain, and they have an elevated emotion combined with it, that they create heart coherence. And now they're broadcasting a whole new energy into the field. And whatever we broadcast into the field is our experiment with destiny. So I want people to know the how, because we have plenty of people that have made millions and millions of dollars that were living in the backseat of their car or filed bankruptcy. We have plenty of people that were stage 4 cancer, serious health conditions that are healed. But really, people think they come for those reasons, but we come for wholeness. That's why we come. That when we feel so whole, and so happy with ourselves, so connected to something greater. If you feel wholeness, it's impossible for you to want. How can you want when you're whole? When you're whole, you feel like you have everything. So I want people to reach that point where they feel so whole that they no longer want, and that's when the magic happens. Teaching them that allows them to understand that when they come back to their senses, they open their eyes. They're not looking for the experience. They feel like it's already happened. And if you feel like it's already happened, why would you be looking for it? Then, if your body is conditioned emotionally into that future, you're not separate from the energy of your future. You're connected to it. But the moment you get in traffic and you start getting angry, you get on the line at the bank and you start getting impatient, or you're sitting in a staff meeting and you start judging a coworker, you just disconnected from the energy of the future, and now you're back to the energy of your past, and you've done nothing wrong. You just lost your connection to the future. Now, the importance of that is to notice that you're disconnected. And if you say to me, well, that person made me feel this way and think this way, I'd say, oh my gosh, you're back to the unconscious program of being a victim in your life. The victim is saying that someone or something is controlling how I think and feel. But a person who's producing outcomes in their life, all of a sudden they say, wow, the way I'm thinking and feeling is creating outcomes in my life. Now I'm a creator in my life, and now I believe less and I'm a victim in my life.
You have to take the lead, not always following, but leading the pack, leading in the right direction, doing the things that will take you to the levels that you need to go and beyond them. But you can't hold back anymore.
Ladies and gentlemen, you got the job, but that's not enough. Don't relax, don't settle. You gotta get bigger, stronger, and faster. You gotta get better. You gotta make sure that your work ethic, getting that job is just the beginning. That's not the end. You wanna live your dreams. You are beginning a legacy.
Be open to doing something completely different. Be open to admitting the possibility that you could be wrong and doing something completely different. And what that does is it opens up your mind and your perspective so you can see all kinds of possibilities that you may not have seen before.
And maybe everything's okay for you and you don't need to. But if you need to make some changes, I'm telling you, you can start doing it today so that the next 2 years will be drastically different than the last 2.
When you're standing on the cliff of life, when you see people soaring by, you see people soaring, going to exotic places, you hear about them doing wonderful things. Maybe you look up the street and your neighbor just gets a car every year, every 2 years. Your eyes are doing it. Have you ever thought, maybe this person right here has identified their gift and is living in their gift? It says your gift will make room.
The first 6 years of my economic life, I wound up broke. The second 6 years, I wound up rich. You say, well, the Democrats must have finally gotten power. No. It was not a political change. Here's what changed the second 6 years of my economic life. It was my philosophy that changed. The set of the sail of better thinking, correcting the errors of the past and picking up new disciplines for the future. That's all I had to do at the end of the first 6. Correct the errors of the past and then pick up some new disciplines for the future. And my total life changed. The second 6 years was totally different than the first 6 of my working life. And guess who can do that? Anybody. We can all get better. I've gotten better. First talk I gave, I stood up, my mind sat back down. But here's the secret to my success. I stood up and did it again. Stood up and I did it again. And I did it again and I did it again all those many years ago. I did it when I was scared, and I did it when I didn't want to, and I did it when I was ill. And I did it when it didn't work well, and I did it when they didn't appreciate it, and I didn't a lot of times when I didn't know much what I was doing. I just did it anyway. I got better day by day, week by week, month by month, and I'm asking you to do the same thing until you can develop a long arm and a long reach.
When everybody's telling you you should rest, you should be working. Because if you're resting, you're taking away your best of yourself. Now, I'm not telling you to commit suicide and bury yourself in your work. There is always going to be a time and place for everything. But what is everything? What is everything to you? And how far are you going to give yourself for? How much more are you willing to give it yourself?
Fill your mind with brave dreams so there is no room for petty worries. An idle mind, it's not my idea, it's a very old proverb, but the idle mind is the devil's workshop. You see, if you don't know your mighty mission, if you don't have these brave ideals that you're waking up in the morning, yes, at 5 a.m. while the world is asleep, and living your days for, if you have not found a crusade that is larger than your life, then what tends to happen is you fill the space and hours of your days with trivial and superficial pursuits. You worry about what the neighbor thinks. You misunderstand the way someone looks at you. You make everything some kind of you become an injustice collector when most people aren't even saying anything or doing anything against you. But that's what happens when you have a mind, a heart, a spirit that doesn't know a cause that's larger than yourself. And that's why a sense of meaning, whether you are a lawn cutter, a pizza maker, a coder, a manager, a leader of a nation, you've got to fill your mind and your heart with noble pursuits that speak to the angels of your higher powers. And once you start doing that, and that doesn't just mean knowing your mighty mission, it also means, the people you follow on social media, the magazines, whether they're digital or terrestrial, that you read, the books you read, the people you associate with. If those people are full of inspiration and artistry, and they want to release their magic to the world, and they want to do good things, and their talk is robust and thoughtful, then that's going to lift you up. It's going to fill your whole internal ecosystem with positivity. But if you're around energy stealers and thought bandits and people who are playing victim and giving away their power to the economy or through all the disruption in the world or to their past, well, then you're going to be surrounded by powerless people who will then demean your primal glory so you too become powerless. And the key to productivity is simplicity. Don't try to do even 5 main projects, or Taj Mahal worthy projects, or Sistine Chapel ceiling masterworks. Focus on one. Don't try to have 50 friends. Focus on a few good friends. Don't fill your days with so many activities. Fill them with one key work activity when you're working. It's so easy to give away your genius to digital distractions, to be checking your messages. You could be in flow state. That's a term coined by Mihai Csikszentmihalyi when he was at the University of Chicago, to speak to that state of transient hypofrontality. We go very, very deep into the neuroscience of mastery and how the superstars achieve exponential productivity and how you dominate your domain in a world of turbulence and uncertainty in my mentoring in the Circle of Legends monthly digital coaching program. And if you're interested, all the information is below. But for now, I just want to remind you, you are at war. A war against distraction, interruption, and digital diversion. A lot of people are losing the best days of their finest hours, or I should say the best days of their lives. Just being busy, but not being productive. And that's a key point I want you to really contemplate and meditate on, which is, please don't confuse busyness with productivity. Please don't confuse movement with mastery.
How are you programming your mind this week? What are you reading? Who are you listening to? Let me know in the comment section of this video. How are you programming your mind? Are you making it intentional? Let me know. I ask this question because a lot of people are not intentional with how they are programming their mind. This is where a resource like Mindvalley University comes into play. You can take countless courses and they are all for helping you expand in whatever region you want. Mindvalley also has a 15-day trial. 15-day trial. So if you don't like Mindvalley, after 15 days, you get your money back. So you could just dive into Mindvalley, see what it offers, do whatever courses that you want to do. And, if you don't like it, get your money back. I'm pretty sure they're going to have you hooked. So if you're interested, again, in Mindvalley, I encourage you to check it out. Link is in the description. With my link, you get 50% off. If you don't use my link and you just go there, you're going to be paying full price. So again, make sure you check it out and come back to check me out so we can talk about it more. And remember to program your own mind. Peace.
If you make a vision board with your house on the ocean or you at the stock exchange ringing the bell, and that's all that you have on it, science says that that vision board will become a source of profound discouragement. Because over time, as you sit there and stare at your dream house or you ring the bell at NASDAQ and nothing in your life changes, you start to feel further and further and further away from what you want, which makes you feel further and further discouraged, which means you're less and less motivated to even begin working on it. Like, the hardest part for everybody is to start. And the reason why is not only the patterns of procrastination and anxiety and stuff that you get trapped in, but it's also because your goals feel so far away that you don't believe that just starting is going to even chip away at it.
Your beliefs are merely habitual thinking patterns that you learned as a child. Many of them work very well for you. Other beliefs may be limiting your ability to create the very things you may say you want. What you want and what you believe you deserve may be very different. You need to pay attention to your thoughts so you can begin to eliminate the ones that are creating experiences that you do not want in your life.
Paying attention is being present, and it's a skill. And you know when someone's present with you in your life because they're paying attention to you. And you know when they're not present with you because they're not paying attention to you. So then imagine you're going to create and you're not present. How could you miss the moment of creation? You then are in the known. You're in the familiar past or the predictable future. So that sweet spot of the generous present moment, if you keep practicing overcoming your body, overcoming the conditions in your environment, and overcoming that predictable future and the familiar past, and you keep working for the present moment, you are going to develop the habit of being present. And if where you place your attention is where you place your energy, and you're in the present moment, you got a lot of energy to use. You got a lot of energy to execute. You got a lot of energy to design a destiny.
Therefore, we should be responsible for everything that we create by being responsible for that which we think. Because the thought processes are what are driving the behaviors. People behave the way they do because they have certain belief systems embedded in the mind and running like a program. Their thoughts and their emotions are driving their actions.
Your successes fuel your ambition. Your successes give you extra energy. Your successes pave the way for more successes. It's the snowball effect. With one success, you're excited to meet another, and another, and another. And pretty soon, the disciplines that were so difficult in the beginning, the disciplines that got you going, are now part of your philosophy.
Treasure house within you. Infinite riches are all around you if you will open your mental eyes and behold the treasure house of infinity within you. There's a gold mine within you from which you can extract everything you need to live life gloriously, joyously, and abundantly. Many are sound asleep because they do not know about this gold mine of infinite intelligence and boundless love within themselves. Whatever you want, you can draw forth. A magnetized piece of steel will lift about 12 times its own weight, and if you demagnetize this same piece of steel, it will not even lift a feather. Similarly, there are two types of men. There is the magnetized man, who is full of confidence and faith. He knows that he is born to win and to succeed. Then, there is the type of man who is demagnetized. He is full of fears and doubts. Opportunities come and he says, I might fail, I might lose my money, people will laugh at me. This type of man will not get very far in life because if he's afraid to go forward, he will simply stay where he is. Become a magnetized man and discover the master secret of the ages. What, in your opinion, is the master secret of the ages? The secret of atomic energy? Thermonuclear energy? The neutron bomb? Interplanetary travel? No, not any of these. Then what is this master secret? Where can one find it, and how can it be contacted and brought into action? The answer is extraordinarily simple. This secret is the marvelous miracle-working power found in your own subconscious mind, the last place that most people would seek it. You can bring into your life more power, more wealth, more health, more happiness, and more joy by learning to contact and release the hidden power of your subconscious mind. You need not acquire this power, you already possess it, but you want to learn how to use it. You want to understand it so that you can apply it in all departments of your life.
The mind is the center of the soul. What is the soul? The soul is an integration of three parts. Please write this down. The soul is the integration of the mind, the will, and the emotions. In other words, those three things make up your soul. What is your soul? Your mind, your will, and your emotions. So your feelings are in your soul. Your decision-making power is in your soul. And your mind, your thinking bank is in your soul. That makes your soul the most important part of your life. Let me explain why. The battle in life is for the soul of man. The Bible says, he that winneth souls is wise. Now, why did Jesus say that? See, winning a body is no problem. Even winning a spirit is easy. You get born again in seconds. But winning your soul is a tough job. My job as a teacher and a communicator is to work on your soul. I am after your soul. I want to win your soul. I've already won your body because you're here, and I already won your spirit because you want to find God. But winning your soul is a tougher job. Because winning your soul takes a longer time than winning your body and your spirit. You are born again in a second, but trying to get you converted is a tough job. So the battle is for what? Your soul. The soul of the people, the soul of the nation, the soul of your children, the soul of your spouse, the soul of your entire job. Your soul is in trouble. The attack is against your soul. I want you to get this message. Write this down. The soul is the first component of media created by God. Why is the soul the first component of media? The soul is a media because the soul is the mediator between the spirit and the body. The soul is the most dangerous part of your life. Matter of fact, your spirit is not your problem, because you are a spirit. But your soul is your problem, because your soul is the one that dictates what your spirit receives.
Look at all the things that you could do and ask yourself, do you want to win? You see, to win is to know what's important now. The challenge is to just get started. Not now, but right now. Bring on the resistance, bring on the challenge, and allow yourself to have the feeling of elation when you've got started and you've done something that you said that you were going to do. And the more you do this, the better you will feel, the more adept and the stronger you will become at moving through the resistance that we all face. You see, how you do anything is how you do everything. And the fact is, it all comes down to one thing. That one thing is choice. And what's the easiest choice to make? Well, the easiest choice to make is to choose what you've chosen before. If you always do what you've always done, then you'll always get what you've always got. Ultimately, your attention is your superpower. Your attention to focus on now what needs to be done. And this is the difference between success and failure.
When you're focusing on something you can control, you're not having a negative thought, even if you're dealing with negative information. When you're seeing yourself focusing on things you can't control, that's when you don't want to be. Anytime a thought comes into your mind, I want you to stop and ask yourself, can I control this? If the answer is yes, go right in and get involved. If the answer is no, gather the information and then switch over to focusing on what you can control.
I always focus on not how I feel before something, but how I feel after. The things that are good for you will feel bad before and good after. And the things that are bad for you will feel good before and terrible after. And so I'm more focused on how can we be healthy. We want mental health. We want physical health. I want relationship health. Like, health is more important to me than happiness, because health creates happiness.
Progress equals happiness. If you keep growing, you're going to feel alive. And if you keep growing, you're going to have more to give. And when you're growing and giving is when life is magnificent. It doesn't matter how many statues, Oscars they give you, or how much money you have in the bank. We've all seen people have all those things, and I get the phone call because they're depressed. So it's really an inner game. And I think that's what's missing for us today. Everybody's focusing on the outside world. Hell, there's a lot of things in the outside world you'll never be able to control. You can influence, but you can't control it. Your mind, your emotions, your body. You have 100% control over what you do with these things. And that's where the game is won. You win the inner game, then you win the outer game.
We progress by creating progress.
The way it happened was really very simple and straightforward. Mr. Schoaf simply took me aside one day and said, "Jim, you have enough talent and intelligence to really accomplish a lot in life, but you just don't have enough reasons to make it happen." When I heard that, something clicked inside my head. This was truly a key insight, a turning point in my life. I had always doubted if I had enough ability to be successful, but suddenly I realized that having enough ability was not the problem. The problem was having enough reasons. If you're like most people, having to is a lot stronger than wanting to. But often, and especially when you're young, that difference isn't always clear until someone points it out to you. But of course, different people are motivated by different things. In order to be successful, you need this very internal, very personal, very unique thing called strong character.
So you have to build yourself from the ground up, and that's scary for a lot of people, but it's also a massive opportunity. You can decide if you want to be a famous musician, or a nice sensitive poet, or a painter, or a kickboxing world champion, or a businessman. You get to decide on all the different characters in the video game. You can choose, who do I want to be? And then if you actually try, you can become it. Isn't that amazing? You can wake up and go, you know what? I want to be this kind of guy. I knew who I wanted to be. I wanted to be the dude pulling up in the Lambo, 3 a.m, gets out. Everyone's like, who is this big, strong, rich dude? I wanted to be that man, so I became it. And if you don't want that, if you want to go be a musician and play guitar and get a bunch of chicks and chill in Bali and smoke whatever, You can choose your character and build it.
So nothing different than being in a dressing room or a bathroom when there's two mirrors like this, and you look down and there's an infinite number of yous that go that way. There's some synchronicity, there's some change, there's some uniqueness, and every time we do the work, we keep moving into another dimension. So then, all possibilities exist in the eternal present moment, and they exist as thought, because the quantum is the realm of thought. So it's not like you create anything there. You just become aware of what already exists. You put your attention on it, and you begin to experience it in that realm, whatever you experience in that realm beyond space and time. And you can begin to emotionally embrace. That must manifest in three-dimensional reality. In this space and time, it's the law. Now, getting people to do that, getting better at it, we're starting to see that people can begin to create from the field instead of from matter. So yeah, possibilities for health exist. Possibilities for wealth exist.
Nothing is so embarrassing as watching someone do something that you said could not be done. People who embrace possibility thinking are capable of accomplishing tasks that seem impossible because they believe in solutions. When you believe you can do something difficult and you succeed, many doors open for you. Big thinkers are specialists in creating positive, forward-looking, optimistic pictures in their own minds and in the minds of others. If you embrace possibility thinking, your dreams will go from molehill to mountain size, and because you believe in possibilities, you put yourself in position to achieve them. The winners in life think constantly in terms of I can, I will, and I am. Losers, on the other hand, concentrate their waking thoughts on what they should have done or what they don't do. If you believe you can't do something, then it doesn't matter how hard you try, because you've already lost. If you believe you can do something, you have already won much of the battle. The first step in becoming a possibility thinker is to stop yourself from searching for and dwelling on what's wrong with any given situation. Sports psychologist Bob Rotella recounts, I tell people, if you don't want to get into positive thinking, that's okay. Just eliminate all the negative thoughts from your mind, and whatever's left will be fine. If possibility thinking is new to you, you're going to have to give yourself a lot of coaching to eliminate some of the negative self-talk you may hear in your head. When you automatically start listing all the things that can go wrong or all the reasons something can't be done, stop yourself and say, don't go there. Then ask what's right about this. That will help to get you started. And if negativity is a really big problem for you and pessimistic things come out of your mouth before you've even thought them through, you may need to enlist the aid of a friend or family member to alert you every time you utter negative ideas. One of the best ways to cultivate a possibility mindset is to prompt yourself to dream one size bigger than you normally do. Let's face it, most people dream too small. They don't think big enough. Henry Curtis advises, make your plans as fantastic as you like, because 25 years from now they will seem mediocre. Make your plans 10 times as great as you first planned, and 25 years from now you will wonder why you did not make them 50 times as great. If you push yourself to dream more expansively, to imagine your organization one size bigger, to make your goals at least a step beyond what makes you comfortable, you will be forced to grow. And it will set you up to believe in greater possibilities. Most people want their lives to keep improving, yet they value peace and stability at the same time. People often forget that you can't improve and still stay the same. Growth means change. Change requires challenging the status quo. If you want greater possibilities, you can't settle for what you have now. When you become a possibility thinker, you will face many people who will want you to give up your dreams and embrace the status quo. Achievers refuse to accept the status quo. As you begin to explore greater possibilities for yourself, your organization, or your family, and others challenge you for it, other possibility thinkers across the country and around the world are thinking about curing cancer, developing new energy sources, feeding hungry people, and improving quality of life. They are challenging the status quo against the odds. And you should too,